Now, in one of our post-game / members only, and if you don't know, you better ask somebody. After the regular radio show, we do a post-game show on our website, on theyoungturks.com. And then if you don't catch it live, we put it in the members only section. So if you're a member of the Young Turks, then you could watch it at any time, right? And it's something we do for our members. And you can also get the whole show anytime you like without the commercials if you're a member. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. So in one of those segments, Anna and I were talking about how much power women have. Okay, so everybody first of all, get by your computer, get by a keyboard, and get ready to type out how the sexualizing the women messages. Okay?
Right.
And we might have a feminist on next week's show to talk about that issue as well. So, but we were talking about it, and both Anna and I were saying how much power women have over men, and they don't even realize it if they're willing to use it in the right ways, etc. And then we got into talk about sex, right? We're talking about sex. Is that what we're talking about, right? And I said, if you tease men the right way, they'll give you anything. And I told a quick story about how there's this Japanese girl that Dave knew, and she once wrote a message on Craigslist saying, some guy, give me a microwave. Knock on the door, next day, some guy shows up with a microwave. Free. Why? Because he was into it. He got turned on by that, or whatever. I don't know why. Because if you just ask guys for stuff, they'll give it to you, right? So we decided to do an experiment. Will that actually work in real life? Mm-hmm. I asked Anna to go to a mall, okay, and just ask a random guy to buy her shoes. Just buy them free for her and see what happened. Now, I don't know what happened, but Anna's here to tell us. You tried it yesterday.
I tried it yesterday. I guess I kind of cheated a little bit because I was in one store trying on clothes, and I decided I'm going to try on this little denim skirt thing, you know? So as I'm going into the dressing room, I see a guy standing by there, and he's alone, and he's just looking at clothes in the guy section. I try on the clothes, and then I come out, and I'm looking all good, you know?
Right.
And I ask him, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this outfit? Does it look good? And he was like, yeah, that looks really good. And I'm like, okay, that's, cool. So that was the icebreaker.
Okay, time out. First of all, that's not cheating at all. That's what you got to do. Tease the guy a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, have a conversation. I mean, I'm not saying like, you pick him out of a crowd, he's having dinner with his kids, and you pull him up and say, will you buy me shoes? Yeah, obviously you have a conversation with the dude, tease him a little bit. So far you're playing it perfectly. I can't wait to see what happens. Okay.
Right. So, I put my regular clothes back on, and I go to the register, and I buy the clothes myself, and I'm trying to talk to him like, oh, are you here with anybody? And we're just, making small talk or whatever. And I was like, oh, do you have anything to do right now? And he was like, no, not really, just looking around the mall. And I said, hey, I'm going to go across to Macy's real quick to the shoe department. Do you want to go with me? And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt this story here. Okay, first off, too easy, drill sergeant. Way too easy. And then second of all, as you're telling the story, for the first time, I'm beginning to feel a little bad for the poor kid, right? Okay. But look, I want everybody in the audience to understand, we did this as a social experiment, okay?
Right.
We did it for science.
We're like Stanford and the McDonald's study.
Yeah, we are. Just, you know what? We're changing the name of the show from the Young Turks to the Stanford. Just Stanford. Okay. So, you say, all right, walk with me to the shoe store at Macy's.
Right.
This guy, okay, so you reeled him in. You walk over there. What happens?
So we go, and I start trying on some shoes, and I found a pair that I liked, and I looked at him, and I said, do you like these? And he's like, yeah, they look good. And I was also wearing a skirt, so I tried on these really nice heels. And I started walking around in them. I'm like, you really like them? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, since you like them so much, you want to buy them for me?
Oh, I can't. No, come on. This is Class A stuff. Okay.
And I was expecting him to be like, what? Yeah, right, or something. And he was just like, well, how much are they? They were $80.
But I told you. I said you can go up to $100 easy, right? Remember?
Right.
Okay.
They're $80. And he's like, all right. So.
Oh, come on.
I got a new pair of shoes.
Stanford, everybody. Look at this.
They're hot. I love them.
You know what? The shoes look good.
Yeah?
I might have bought you those shoes. Dave Kohler.
Fill me in on How hard was this for you? Did you have to force yourself, or were you having a good time and did it come easily? And this guy, was he cool? Was he nice? Was he good looking?
Well, the guy was good looking. My boyfriend's going to kill me when he hears that I said that. And another thing, I kind of did it to get back at my boyfriend, just to get on his nerves. So I was enjoying it.
Stanford. Okay, you know why? Because don't forget, the Stanford experiment was highly unethical. Okay, and they had to stop it. This the one with the kids in the prison and the guards and they wind up they're all Stanford students, and the guards wind up abusing the living crap out of these prisoners in a matter of like 48 hours. It gets so ugly they got to end the experiment. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is already getting ugly. Okay, you're talking about how you got to see, but she was in the perfect position for it mentally.
Right. I was, and I mean, I really wanted it to work. I wanted to come on the show and be able to talk about it. So, and I didn't want to get shut down, So
right.
I played my
got
cards
personal, right? Okay, so did you even at least pretend? So this is the thing. I'm really
here we go.
Okay, how did it end? You go, oh, thanks a lot. I'll see you later.
No.
Okay.
See, that was the bad part. He asked for my number.
Of course.
And I told him that. Oh, I don't have a cell. Thank God my cell didn't ring or anything like that. Uh-huh. And I said, I live with my parents, so I don't feel comfortable giving my phone number out. Is it okay if I get yours?
Okay, by the way, another Cenk Uygur suggestion. Okay. And he was like, oh, yeah, right?
Yeah, he gave me his number.
And that's it?
And that's it.
Should we call him now?
No.
I'm just playing. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. It's way too cool.
On air.
We should call that guy and tell him what a sucker he is.
Oh,
he's a chump. Not on my watch. That is not all men. I would never buy you shoes, and I am sorry. Never going to happen on my watch.
That hurts. I
don't even believe in buying a girl a drink at a bar.
Oh,
okay.
Now that's just cheap, boy.
No, listen. Let me explain. If I'm rapping with a girl and I'm getting to know her and we're cool, fine, I'll buy her a drink after a while, but I would never just open up with buying her a drink because, thanks for the drink. I'm going to go talk to my friends and that other guy over there. Never going to happen.
No, but I mean, I did small talk with him. I was kind of getting to know him, and I think, he had expectations. That was the whole thing. It wasn't like I went up to him and said, hey, buy me some shoes right now. I talked to him. I flirted.
If I was him, I would have been like, tell you what. You want to grab some food? I'll grab some food. Let's go to the food court in the mall, and I'll buy you some McDonald's.
All right, let me tell you, Stanford. Okay, first, by the way, the voice from the voice of God that you're hearing, voice from the sky, is Matt in the New York studios. Matt normally doesn't jump in, but this has got him worked up. Okay, he's like, wait a minute,
sorry,
not on my watch. I love that. All right, but here's Stanford study number 2 and Stanford study number 3. If we wind up doing it, okay. Stanford study number 2 is, I bet if you went up to a guy and said in an authoritative voice, hey, why don't you come buy me some shoes? I bet you that would work too, okay? I'm not sure it would work 100% of the time. I bet that would work at least a third of the time. Guy'd be like, oh, damn. Oh, yeah, I'm totally into that. Yeah, let me go buy you some shoes. Okay? I'm telling you. And Stanford study number 3 is, at some point, it'll take a while, but we'll lull him into complacency, and then we'll get Matt to buy you shoes.
Matt's gonna buy me shoes. In fact, he's gonna FedEx them over to me. Okay.
I probably agree with you on all 3 counts, Cenk.
Because you know why? And this is part of the reason why we did it. Because we're guys and we're hopeless. We're absolutely hopeless. And women, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. You've got untold power. You have no idea how much power you have over men as long as you're willing to wield it. Now, I know some people are totally uncomfortable with wielding that kind of power because it involves, teasing and sexual power, etc. And I get it. And if you don't want to do it, God bless you. I understand completely. I don't condone this study, nor do I condemn it. I'm an innocent bystander. Okay. But having said that, we're just trying to prove the realities on the ground. Okay. And that's the reality on the ground. Guys will do anything for women if you play it right.